You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacalyn. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacalyn.com to book an appointment today.
Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn, the variety show, here on Business Talk Radio and on social media. I am your host and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Carruth. I am a certified life and career coach, and our show today is going to be very interesting. I'm welcoming back a friend who is really a true professional, and she's experienced so many different things. Let's welcome Zane Carson Carruth. Hi, Zane.
Well, hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Great. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy it's 2021. Happy to get going, just get the floor running.
I am so thrilled that it's 2021. And I'm so glad that you came back today. It's always a pleasure to see you. And I just want to say publicly, thank you so much for introducing me to Diane Bain. She's an incredible person. And the two of you together are really lighting up Texas.
Well, thank you. Yeah, she has been an asset because she is so knowledgeable on so many things. She is so focused. She gets it done.
She does. She gets a lot of things done, and she's such a good storyteller. And
yes.
And so are you. So let's start off talking about all that you're doing. You are a children's book author. You've written several books. And I have them. I've read them. They're beautiful, well written, and well illustrated. Can you share with us how you got started as an author?
Well, it was probably quite by accident. It was a sunny afternoon, and I just picked up a notebook and I just started writing. And the story kind of wrote itself. And when I was about halfway into it, I thought, oh, this is going to be about the Tooth Fairy. So I just went with that. And it's a delightful story. And it just tells you exactly how the tradition of the Tooth Fairy started. You will never have to wonder once you read this book. And it's just a lot of fun. Two little fairies, Darcy and Bella, best friends. But then I was at some sort of class, and the lady had written a book, a children's book. So that's all I could focus on. And so I talked to her about that, and she gave me a little bit to go on. And I waited a long time before I did anything about it. But, once the internet became available, it's just a whole lot easier to self-publish because, all of the tools are at your fingertips. So that's what I did. I self-published my books, and I've enjoyed the process. It's a very time-consuming, laborious process, but I've met some wonderful people and built a tremendous team to help me do that. And I have just been enriched by the process.
How long did it take you, Zane, from start to finish for the first book? I think it was a few years, yes?
Well, I wrote the book 25 years ago, and then I published the first one in 2016. But from start to finish, because you have to kind of totally rewrite the first one, it takes a minimum of 9 months. Even if you get the story written real quickly, because a lot of times I can write the stories quickly, but just ironing out all the details and working out all the kinks and getting the illustrations done and that takes a good 9-10 months. I give myself a year to start to finish.
That's good to know. Zane, would you say, and I already know the answer to this, but would you say when you're writing children's books, you're not just writing for children, and there's actually a message that can resonate with everyone?
Well, yes. Yeah, I could say that. Because it's kind of gotten down to the books are more about friendships and the value that a true friend brings in your life and the value that you bring to them. It's a two-way street. And that's just kind of been the building blocks of my books. And I've enjoyed that because, there's certain things we all need in life. And so many of those can be met by a friend, and you can do the same for your friend. So, yeah, I have to agree with your statement.
That's wonderful. And do you have your books there that you can share with us?
Certainly.
Let's
Here's
see
the
them.
very first one. World's first tooth fairy ever, 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 ever. And then the next one I wrote is The Adventures of Abella and Her Magic Wand. She and Darcy study and they get their magic wands. Just a fun book. And then this last one is Abella Starts a Tooth Fairy School. And this is a fun book because you learn, where they get their money to leave under the pillow and how they find the kids and what all is involved. And it's a great little book. It answers a lot of questions. And people always say, well, where do they get their money? What do they do with their teeth? Book.
Read the book and you'll find out.
You'll find out, yes.
So for all of our friends who are on Business Talk Radio listening, where can your books be purchased?
Well, Walmart, online Walmart, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and then on my website, worldsfirsttoothfairy.com. And there's a place in there that if you want me to dedicate the book or write it out to somebody, just put that in the comments. And then there's a shopping cart. And so just pay and go, and then I write it out and I mail it to you.
And a question I have in terms of self-publishing, what I thought was that when you self-publish, it's on Amazon, but you've branched out to Barnes & Noble, to Walmart Online. So how did that evolution take place?
Well, I'll tell you, because those big houses like Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Target, they won't take a small self-publisher like me. So I hired Ingram Spark, and they did it. And so then it goes under their publishing house. And then they feel more comfortable ordering it from Ingram Spark than just, one little publisher. So that's how it got out there. And they have sold really well. I've sold some to Europe and the UK, which is Europe. But it's done real well with Ingram Spark. I was really glad to have found them. They're easy to work with. And that's how you get into the bigger stores. You can't just do it on your own.
That's what I was wondering. That's a great point. So you know what? I'm going to change your banner to International Children's Book.
Yes, I just read my sales report that they sent quite a few to the UK this Christmas. So that was good.
That's excellent. That is wonderful. Zane, in addition to being the tremendous author you are also a certified etiquette and protocol expert. And I have to say, I've heard of certified etiquette, but not M protocol. So I can't wait to dive into this. I want to mention to our audience that they can certainly go ahead and put comments in social media if they want to share anything with us about the program, how they're enjoying it, or any feedback for us on the program. We'd love it. So Zane, in the world that we're in today, there's so many things that have changed, and it's a beautiful new year. I thought it would be great if you could share what etiquette is, why it's important, and let's just start there. I don't want to get too many things. So what is etiquette and why is it important?
Well, it's pretty much the science of life. I mean, you have to have certain basic behaviors, to make life work well, to make society work well. And that is just the common sense of being kind to each other, civility, respecting each other, respecting your elders. All of the things that our parents taught us when we were young, we need to do that. It's not just about, your manners and your table manners. It's about how you treat people, how you treat them with respect. And you don't do anything to try to make them feel bad or to correct them in public, or, the things that people do that just really kind of make you feel yucky. But it's just the science of living and civility like that.
And we definitely need that now in this world, that is for sure. One thing that you hit on, I think really resonated with me about correcting people in public. I have been known to correct people when they say a couple of words incorrectly, and I know now that that's wrong. Bad. So,
well, if you're someone like me, if you have any kind of hearing, anything that's not perfect within your hearing, you don't hear the words pronounced correctly. So I am real bad about mispronouncing words. And I had a friend that I think they only hung around with me so they could correct me and feel good about themselves. But you just don't do it. You just cringe but I don't catch that in a lot of people. But yeah, that is, I guess you would say, one of my pet peeves, because I don't know, maybe you think, oh, well, I'm doing them a favor. But, if you're in a group, you're not, or even if it's just one-on-one, over time, you think, okay, I got it. You know it. I don't. Let's just move on. So, but yeah, it's not proper manners to do that. Like I said, you just have to just grin, cringe, and go on. Or so what? They mispronounced a word.
All right. Note to self. No more. I'm not going to do that anymore. So talk to us. What is the process like to get certified as an etiquette and protocol expert?
Well, I went to the Charleston, I don't know, etiquette school. I flew to Charleston and I took a class for like 7 days. And then you study, and then you take the test, and then you become certified. And then you have to keep updating. And, but that's how it's just a lot of intense studying. And I need to find out the name. When we go on break, I'll come back and tell you the exact name, because the lady's name is Cynthia Grosso, and it's the Charleston School of Etiquette. But I'll give you the correct name because I thoroughly enjoyed it. She went over everything from how to shake hands, how to enter a room, business cards. It was more on the business side. But it was fascinating. If you love etiquette, like I do, I just think etiquette is wonderful. It's just a gentle way of life, and I'm thrilled to have that. I mean, to be a certified etiquette professional. So I'll get recertified this year, because every 5 years you have to go back, do it all over again, and I'm looking forward to that.
I was going to ask you about that certification, if it's something that you have to do every so often. Okay.
Yes. And matter of fact, I emailed her today. I said, okay, I'm in my 5th year. How does that work? What do I do? When do I come?
So it's exciting. And I'm wondering, and I want to take a break to hear from our friends who are sponsors, but I'm wondering if there are new guidelines that come out every year, like, with nutrition, there's new guidelines. So,
right.
Yes. Yeah. So let's discuss that when we come back. We're going to take a quick break here. We are here with Zane Carson Carruth on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn on Business Talk Radio and social media. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Located at 121 Haddon Avenue in Westmont, New Jersey, is Margie Cedrone, artisan jeweler. Margie's been in business for more than 30 years. She works with her clients to create custom pieces of jewelry to reflect their personality and help them make their own bold statement. Starting in the renowned Jewelers Row in Center City, Philadelphia in 1988, Margie works directly with her clients to develop one-of-a-kind pieces such as necklaces, engagement rings, wedding bands, unique watches and tennis bracelets, as well as a myriad of rings and earrings for everyone in your family. She also has worked directly with Dr. Jacalyn over the years, creating unique pieces of jewelry to reflect her personality. She does pearl stringing and repairs on site at 121 Haddon Avenue. Call or text Margie at 215-384-7155. Margie Cedrone Jewelry is open by appointment only. Make your own bold statement.
listen to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Good evening and welcome back to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn here on Business Talk Radio and social media. We're here with my guest and friend, Zane Carson Carruth. Hi, Zane. Thanks for staying around through the break.
Well, I enjoyed your commercials. They're very interesting.
We have some really cool commercials and we're always looking for new sponsors. So if anybody out there wants to join us, we'd love to have you. So we were talking about certification for etiquette, and you have to go every 5 years. And then I was asking, are there some new enhancements, new guidelines every so often?
Well, it changes with the times. Like now, everybody is working from home, or their Zoom meetings, or their cell phones are such a huge intrusion. So there is etiquette and protocol rules about when you're in a meeting. Obviously, you don't look at your cell phone, you don't text, you don't write notes, you stay focused. And that's a big one. And it's very noticed if you're in a meeting and you see someone, they're just looking at their phone or texting the whole time. It's distracting to everybody. And believe it or not, very few people can multitask like that, because you can't text and listen and be part of a group if you're not 100% focused and engaged in it.
That makes sense. And you just made me think of something that really is enlightening. I had posted on social media that you were going to be on the dating show. And I realize now why I did that, because I want you to come on the dating show to talk about etiquette on dates and in dating relationships. So I would love to have you, because I know there must be guidelines for that.
Yes.
So can you share with us, when it comes to, it can be personal, it can be professional, what are some etiquette guidelines that can apply to most people?
I think allowing personal space, like when you're in, and now we have that whole 6 foot thing, but before that, people would kind of crowd you when you were in line, or they would use their phone in a restaurant. Those are all things that really bother the general public and needs to be addressed. Speaking over people, crowding them in line.
How about having your cell phone? How about having your cell phone on speaker when you're in a public place? That's well. And I always think, well, if I'm on the phone in a restaurant, nobody can hear me because I'm speaking very lowly. But no, because my voice carries, and I'm just loud, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that other than just don't get on your phone. And you tell your children before you go out, this is what I expect of you. This is what I need you to do, how I need you to act. You kind of review all of those things in advance, so kids don't act crazy and run around and throw things and be kids. Right. That's a good point, because you can be at before COVID, you can be at a restaurant and you're next to a family and the kids are completely out of control and they're just running around and throwing things. Or I've been at the gym again before COVID, when you're on the treadmill and there's somebody next to you and they decide to have a whole business conversation on speakerphone while you're next to them running. I don't even understand.
It's uncomfortable because you don't want to hear their business, and you sure don't want to hear their health issues. And it's the same like when you walk into an elevator. You have to be mindful of your space and where you're standing and what you're talking about. And my husband and I have a rule. When we're in a restaurant, we just use initials. If we have to bring up something about somebody else, we don't say their name, because you just never know who's listening or what you're going to give away. Plus, it's just annoying to people. So you have to kind of keep all of that in mind, because cell phones have just changed the world and the way we do business.
It's true. What about taking pictures of someone? I'm just talking about if you see someone and you take a picture of them and you don't know them, you didn't ask for permission. Is there any etiquette about that?
You just really shouldn't do it. I know I've been in business conferences, and just say somebody has gotten kind of rowdy. People drink sometimes. the last thing they want is for you to take a picture of them. So no, it's best not. It's just best not to, because it's an invasion of privacy. You wouldn't want them to do that to you, and you sure shouldn't do that to anybody else.
Exactly. Now let's move on to something that most people are familiar with. I know some people are not, but social media. Is there etiquette around social media in terms of how you respond to a post that someone put? Like, for example, with everything that's going on, people on social media have put some pretty definitive posts about how they feel about one thing or another. So is it proper etiquette to engage, or do you just unfriend? Any thoughts on that?
Well, there's so much political recourse going on right now, but no, I don't think you should hide behind anything with social media. And that's what people do. They feel very emboldened when they're going to make comments. And I do unfriend a lot of people because, one, I don't want to read it. I don't care what your opinion is on certain things, but I do think you should be kind, even in social media. Stop before you say, "Oh, would you just look at that hair?" You just don't do it. You just extend the kindness on social media like you would do in real life and in person.
I agree with you. And yet there are some people that are just filled with so much anger, and they just take and put it all onto social media. And in my opinion, I feel like it's good to spread positive energy, spread kindness, spread hope, inspiration, as opposed to using a platform to put all of your anger out there. So, but I want to stay focused on the etiquette piece of it. So if I remember my mom telling me, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. So I think, does that apply?
Because it is tempting. It really is. But you just have to use self-control and just not go there. Just not do that, because it'll come back to bite you. That stuff never goes away. It's always there. You can always find it. But no, the proper way to live life is, just remember civility and be kind to people and be generous and respect people. All of that falls under the umbrella of etiquette and manners and proper way to live your life.
Yes. Now, what about when it comes to business? And again, this is pre-COVID, but still, people are engaging with businesses in other countries, and other cultures have certain things that are respectful to them, and certain things that are not. Is it important as a business person to know what the proper protocols are for different cultures?
Absolutely. And if you know you're going to get on a conference call or have a Zoom meeting with someone in another country, you need to research that, because all of the rules are different. Some people want to be addressed by their first name, their last name. All of the rules are different about what you talk about, what you bring up just in your small talk. But yes, by all means, research that. And it's like, how do you address someone? Do you address the boss first, his assistant? All of the countries are all different on that. So yes, you'd be wise to look that up and do some research, spend some time before you get on that call, because you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. And those are things that are very important to people, their title, how you address them. And you need to be aware of that. You really do.
I agree with you on that. I would think that if you don't address the person properly, that's already a red flag for them. And maybe they're just going to discount doing business with you or working with you because you didn't bother to take the time to understand what's important to them.
Exactly. And some things are vitally important to some people in certain countries, and some are not so much. But it'd be in your best interest to find that out before you get on the phone with them or do a Zoom or see them in person. That's even more important, to know how to act and respond, and your social distance, how you shake their hands, the things you say. Yes. Who do you shake hands with first? How do you introduce somebody? All of that matters to people. In America and in other countries too, but people have different levels a different importance of that.
One thing that's kind of a pet peeve for me, I want to know your thoughts on it, is I'll introduce myself as Jacalyn, and the person will immediately start calling me Jackie. And that really bothers me. And then I feel silly that I'm going to say to them, please don't call me Jackie, because it seems so trite, but yet it's important to me. So then I just suffer with it inside. So,
well, and I think that's really all you can do. The error is on their part. They shouldn't even ask you, can I call you Jackie? They should just address you the way you've introduced yourself. If it's Dr. Jacalyn or Jacalyn, however it is, you have to follow their lead. And people are wrong to do that. And it makes you uncomfortable. And then it kind of affects your train of thought if you're uncomfortable about something.
I agree. And then I'm finished with this, and then people will argue with me, well, you seem more like a Jackie because you're so down to earth. It's like, no. I want you to call me Jacalyn. Like, your name is whatever it is. I'm not going to call you another name, So it's
no, that is vital. That is right up there at the top of the rules list on manners, how you address someone. Even in writing, you have to do it properly. So no, they need to listen to this show, and they'll learn. They'll know what to do next time. Yeah, I don't know how you could come back and say, please call me Jacalyn, unless you just don't like them. Then that's okay then, I guess.
So you have a beautiful name. I've never met anyone with the name Zane before. Were you named after someone?
No. My mother went to school with a girl named Zane. And back in her day, people didn't have weird names. They didn't have weird names when I was growing up. But it's a fine name now, and it served me well. But I used to just tell people my name was Carolyn. I just didn't want to deal with it as a little kid. I grew up in a small, rural country town. Everybody had normal names but me. But people do remember you, so you better act nice.
So you told them your name was Carolyn.
Yes, and we'd go out of town to a football game. Oh, what's your name? Carolyn. Yep, Jacalyn Carson. Yep. But my grandsons, I named my daughter Brittany Zane, and my grandsons are not named Zane, but they've got Carson in my middle name in there. But yeah, it matters what tag you put on your child, but it serves you well. I was always in sales, so people would always remember, oh yeah, Zane. Yeah.
So you said you came from a small country town. Whereabouts?
El Campo, Texas, rice farming, about 75 miles southwest of Houston. Everybody was either a rice farmer or a farmer. Now, my dad worked for Texaco, so he was more in the oil and gas industry. But it's a different way of life. It was wonderful growing up in a small town.
Ah, that sounds really great. I want to also mention that you're doing work with Binge Networks TV. Can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I'm having my books turned into videos. I've got one book up there now under it's World's First Tooth Fairy is my channel. And one book, so they're in 3 parts. And now I'm working with someone to do the books in 3D video, which, that's a very time-consuming process. But anyway, kids just like 3D better, and so that's what I'm doing. But and I've got a little 3D video about kindness that I'm going to put up there next week. And that's what I'm doing, just uploading my videos and having my books made into videos. And once I'm finished with the all 9 videos, then I'm going to have to write some new material because I can't write a book. It takes a year to write a book, so I'm going to have to just do some 3 or 4 minute stories. And I look forward to doing that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Have you ever thought of collaborating with other authors? I've been hearing this lately, people writing books together.
Never thought of that. No. Well, my mother is an incredible author. She doesn't write anymore. And I would like to collaborate with her, but she's not one to share. So, I didn't push that very, very much. But no, I've never thought of that.
I was just
Diane would be a good person to collaborate with.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. You and Diane. We actually have an ad from Diane, which I'm going to play when we go to break. So, yes, I've been hearing a lot about authors collaborating together because it does take so long, so that either you each write a chapter or I don't know, for children's books, it might be different, but I want to take a break. And when we come back, I'd love for you to read to us from one of your books. Would you be open to that?
All right. I'll be happy to.
Okay, that's wonderful. So stay with us here on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn with Zane Carson Carruth. We will be right back, and let's take a look at Diane Beam's her commercial.
Looking for children's books to embrace the imagination, to inspire your kids to be the best they can be and to love themselves? Look no further. Children's author DianeFloydBaim.com. You'll find the books right there and on Amazon and local stores.
Hi everyone, I'm Mindy Thomas, founder of Thomas Career Consulting. If you are dealing with the stress of having been terminated or being laid off, considering a career change, or you simply cannot land a job with your current resume, you came to the right place. My professional expertise centers on being trained in two distinct areas: career counseling and career marketing. I am also the host of Career Chat, a weekly talk show which appears on RVN TV. My end game is helping you to overcome the self-doubt, the fear, and the other barriers you are facing right now in a very tricky, perplexing, and complicated job market. .5 seconds. That's how much time it takes a recruiter to scan your resume. On top of that, electronic applicant tracking systems may reject you even if you have the skills, education, and experience. I teach you how to win when you absolutely have to. My resume writing practice is built on a personalized, collaborative, and strategic approach that showcases your accomplishments in a way to get you noticed. At the center of my strategy is identifying your strengths and targeted keywords to make you stand out from the competition. As a professional resume writer, I know what it takes to impress even the most discriminating hiring manager. Changing careers, launching a new one, overwhelmed or stuck in a dead-end job? I have more than 2 decades of experience as a Georgetown-trained leadership coach, resume writer, career counselor, and recruiter. So whether you're a student, a top executive, or simply struggling to find your own career identity and you're feeling lost, you can count on me to lead you through the journey of self-discovery. I will formulate a step-by-step plan that begins with the assessment of your skills, your interests, your values, and your personality, and then explore the opportunities that are best suited to align with you. In essence, what makes sense for you? With 25 years of business experience, I have been privileged to work with a diverse group of adults, from young high school students to the millennials, the Generation X, Y, and Z, and boomers. Let me put that to work for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Today's show is sponsored by Dr. Jacalyn. Take charge of your life personally, financially, and professionally. Visit drjacalyn.com to book an appointment today.
Welcome back on this Friday night here on Business Talk Radio and social media. It's Dr. Jacalyn Carruth and Zane Carson Carruth on Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn. Zane, I'm so excited for you to read from one of your books. Which one will it be?
I am going to read from my latest book, Bella Starts a Tooth Fairy School.
Oh, goody. Okay.
All right, I'll skip the little intro part, but after Bella's big adventure in the forest and bringing home a pearly white tooth, everyone was frantic to have one. Please, Bella, will you get me one? Me too, said another. Overwhelmed by her friend's excitement, Bella thought, I need to open a tooth fairy school. And that's just what she did. The first day of class was buzzing with excitement. Her friend Darcy, her brother Gage, and the Clark brothers were there among others. As Bella organized her classroom, the students were getting antsy. Clark brothers and Gage chased each other around the room, making everyone laugh. Okay, let's get started, she exclaimed. What does a tooth fairy need to be successful, she asked. A baseball, the Clark brothers shouted. Rollerblades, Gage bellowed, and everyone giggled. Bella rolled her eyes and said, no, you need to know where to find the tooth. Bella explained that every tooth brought back to Tulip Hollow becomes magical after it's sprinkled with fairy dust. Then she pulled a tooth out of her pocket and said, look, watch this. She threw a handful of fairy dust in the air, and as the dust landed on the tooth, it lit up, vibrated, and turned beautiful colors. Show me a tooth under the pillow, she told the tooth. Magically, a vision appeared of a little girl slipping her tooth under the pillow. From that magic tooth. Everyone gasped and stared in awe. Bella said, the tooth will guide you to the pillow. However, you must be careful to guard it with your life. Because once the fairy dust lands on it, it becomes extremely powerful. Look at that powerful tooth. Look at it.
Wow. Strong.
That's a powerful tooth. Next, we'll need $1 bill, Bella said. Why do we need that? Asked Darcy. Because we leave $1 under the pillow in exchange for the tooth. Where do we get the $1 bill? Gage asked. Money grows on trees in Tulip Hollow. Bella explained. The students looked at her in disbelief. Look out the window in those trees, and you will see the trees are $1 bills. $1 bills. All the fairies jumped up and ran outside. Look, Darcy, she said. She pointed to a $1 bill on a tree. One of the Clark brothers leaned over and tugged at a leaf. Ouch, I'm a flower. I'm not made of money, exclaimed the little flower. Oh, sorry, mumbled the Clark boy. By the end of the class, the students were ready to begin their journey as professional tooth fairies. Bella handed each one a magic tooth, and they were off. Come on, Darcy, let's get this adventure started, Bella exclaimed. They soon zeroed in on a little boy who had slipped his tooth under the pillow. Bella pointed to him and whispered to Darcy, you go first. Darcy smiled and gently slid her hand under the pillow, pulled the tooth and left the $1. Bella gave her a thumbs up and grinned. The fairies nodded to each other and flew out of the window giggling. Then it was Bella's turn. Although Bella was a professional tooth fairy, she was not prepared for what happened next. Very quietly, Bella fluttered to the pillow and was about to slide her hand under it when she heard a low growl. Bella stopped. Her heart was pounding as she slowly turned her head to her side. Yikes, there was a big dog by the bed. Bella shot Darcy a horrified look and pointed to the open window. Go, Darcy, she yelled. They flew out the window as fast as they could as the dog chased after them. Flying as far from the house as possible, they stopped to rest on a tree. Branch. And Bella and Darcy looked at each other in shock and disbelief. That was close, they both exclaimed at the same time. Look at them. They were nervous wreck. Unfortunately, they did not see Squirrel. Pearl the squirrel sneak up on him. Bella felt the limb move and froze when she saw Pearl. She had heard about Pearl and immediately felt threatened. Bella tried to sound courageous when she said sternly, "Get out of here. Beat it. Scram. Go on, Pearl the squirrel." Pearl snickered in reply. "Not so fast, little fairy. I know you have a magic tooth in your bag, and I want it. I need it to tell me where the other squirrels have hidden their nuts for the winter. See, I've not had a very good year collecting food. I've been really busy being really busy. It isn't easy being," she sighed. Bella clutched her bag tightly and gave Pearl a cold look. She said forcefully, "No, Pearl. I worked hard for this magic tooth. I'm not giving it to you so you can steal other squirrels' food." Pearl lunged at Bella, knocking the magic tooth out of the bag. It fell to the ground, and quick as lightning, Pearl was on the ground ready to grab it. See that?
Yes. There's Pearl.
Pearl the squirrel. Swoosh! Suddenly, a big red bird swooped down, picked up the tooth, and chased Pearl away. The red bird had been perched in the tree and heard everything.
Yay.
He flew to Bella and dropped the tooth in her lap. "Thank you, Mr. Redbird," Bella exclaimed. He turned and winked at her as he flew away. Happy to have completed the first day as tooth fairies, Bella and Darcy were ready to fly home. Bella smiled as she looked down and saw the moonlight illuminating a big sign her students had built in her honor. It says, "Welcome to Tulip Hollow, home of the world's first tooth fairy."
Ah.
The end.
Yay. That was beautiful.
It's a fun little story.
Beautiful. International children's book author Zane Carson Carruth. There's nothing like having a book come to life than having the author read it. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, well, people tell me, saying, "Now, Bella's not real."
Yes,
you.
She is real. And I love that Pearl the squirrel.
That little mean Pearl the squirrel.
We all have a Pearl the squirrel somewhere in our lives, right?
Yes, we do. We have, and we probably will again.
But then we have allies. We have people in our network, people who have our back. So
yes, and that's what your best friend's for. Have your back.
Wonderful. Zane, we've come to the end of our program, and I think that's such a beautiful way to end it with your reading of that story, and then themes that really resonate with all of us, that we're not alone, and choose to be with people who are positive and who have your back and who'll fly in and save the day and save that tooth, right?
Yes, and that's the magic word. You choose to be the people that you have in your life, and choose carefully and choose thoughtfully.
Yes. And Zane, we would love to have you back again for another reading of one of your books. Would you come back?
I would love to. Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So any final words for our audience today?
No, just keep reading to your children, be kind to each other, and mind your manners.
I love it. That's a great way to end the show. Thank you, Zane. I'll be backstage in just a minute.
Okay.
And if you would be there, I'd appreciate it. And to everyone watching and listening, that was really phenomenal. I love when an author reads their book, the passion and everything that they put into it, the characters really comes through. So thank you again. A couple of announcements we have launched this week, in case you haven't heard, because I have been putting on social media. We have a new program. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. Lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. This program is where 6 people will be on a panel, one of whom will be a charter presenter, which means that they have a big following, and they will present something for 15 minutes that they believe will resonate with the audience. It's going to be different for each show. And then we'll have 4 other individuals who are there to present something also to help us set an intention or focus, and myself. So look for those shows starting next week, Wednesday from 4 to 5:30 Eastern time, and also Thursday from 11 to 12:30. We changed the time for Wednesday so that we can have a global audience, and our first week we're going to have someone from New Zealand, which is really exciting. And then the last announcement is that our 2021 Wealth of Health events, where we were live streaming for 6 hours on the 29th of December and the 1st of January, were a big success, and we're going to have one of them a month. So if you want to get involved with that and you want to be able to present something that is really in the health and wellness realm, please go to drjacalyn.com and you can sign up for both of those programs. Otherwise, please look forward to joining us again. Our shows are Wednesday at 2 p.m. And that is our business talk show with Mr. Al Cini as co-host. We also have Thursday at 4 p.m., it's all about dating. And we were having some hilarious laughs and times there. And then Friday, we have our 5 o'clock stories of hope and inspiration, overcoming adversity. And then our 6 o'clock variety show. So that's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful weekend. And again, thank you for your support and your loyalty.